Now.
Okay. Okay, Black. We're ready. Oh, yeah.
Okay, we're here. Yes, yes, yes. Welcome to Black Roses Garden Community Radio at Home with special guest, criminal defense attorney, Miss GLADYS Weatherspoon. As you all know, we had scheduled to do the Know Your Rights seminar in the studio at Hustle Firms Entertainment today, but due to construction, we are here in the privacy of our homes, right, Miss Witherspoon?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you so
But
much.
we're good. We're going to do it anyway. The universe can't stop this.
That's right. That's right. So, thank you for everybody that's tuning in. I'm going to be sharing this live on my Facebook page. You have the floor, Miss Witherspoon.
Okay. So I've been doing these now for 7 years. And the reason I've been doing them is obvious. People have been having difficulties understanding what to do when they get stopped by the police. I'd like to know if somebody's on there, because I like to ask questions and see if people can, answer them and work like that. This is kind of interactive. So if you see people on there, I have no way of knowing. So you're just gonna have to be the student. So tell me, Black Rose, what do you do when you're stopped by the police? Just tell me what you think you're supposed to do.
I really don't have too many, situations where I'm stopped by the police, but usually I put my hand on the dashboard. Okay. I put my hand on the dashboard, and usually they're more intimidated by me doing that than I am with them. So we really don't even have no problem. Sometimes they don't get no citations, no warning or nothing. They see that, and I guess because I do be nervous,
I think everybody gets nervous.
You be nervous because you think of some of those times. I advocate for murder cases. So I have advocated for some police involved cases, and I know how they have turned out. So I'd be kind of scared.
Okay. I think most people are scared. Most people are scared.
And I think it shows all over my face.
Okay. So you do, one of the things that you do is you put your hands on the steering wheel, right? But the other thing that you really should do is put all your windows down so that everybody can see you from every angle. Especially if you have any tint on your car, it's very important that you do that. So what I usually do is I have tint on my windows. I hit my little window thing, and I say usually. I know that's terrible that I actually have to say usually, but I got a little bit of a lead foot. So it stopped a little bit. So I put down all my windows and put my hands on the steering wheel and wait. The other thing is that when I even get in the car, I usually take my license, registration, and proof of insurance thing, because it's in a little, wallet thing by itself. Right. And I already put it in the cup holder, so I don't have to be digging through a purse. When they ask you for stuff and you start digging around and moving, sometimes people get nervous. And so the goal really is for everybody to get out of it healthy. Everybody gets to go home. You and the police, right? So the first thing you do is put down all your windows and wait to be told what to do. The next thing that should happen is somebody said the other day, and then I asked them, why did I get stopped? Do not do that.
Right.
Don't ask why did I get stopped, and please don't say I know my rights. That's not
right.
To do that. Even if you think you're right about whatever it is, the reality is we're not going to win the argument in the middle of the street, right? You're not going to win an argument with a cop while you're sitting in a car and he's standing over you, really. You're not going to win. So the best thing that you can do is keeps announcing things and letting them know that you're asserting your rights without saying those words. So where are you coming from? You know, usually if you get stopped at night, officers ask you where you coming from or where you going. What do you do?
Home health care. Home health care.
So you tell them where you're coming from?
Yeah.
Okay. No.
Because see, this is the thing. Like, this was before I took the Citizens Police Academy.
Okay.
For Prince George's County. I took that and I learned so much.
Okay.
You know, just the stories that they had to tell, and to understand that, you know, you just have to go about things a different way. You have to handle things a different way. I didn't know that we couldn't ask the police, you know, what are they stopping us for?
I mean, it's not that you
no idea about that.
them. It's not that you cannot. It's just that it begins an antagonistic relationship, right? What you said before. Then it starts feeling like, you know, sometimes they say, do you know why I stopped you? Right. And then you start answering, and that's also not helpful for you, because if you say, oh yeah, I was speeding, right? You have the right to remain silent, period. That's just the rule. You have the right to remain silent, and you have the right to not be searched. So if somebody says, do you know why I'm stopping you? Even if you think you know, I mean, really, you really don't know, because you don't know what they're seeing or what they're, you know, what they're stopping you for. So my answer is always, no, I don't, officer, right? And so let them tell you why they're stopping you. Now, I know usually somebody asks, where are you going? Where are you coming from? The reason officers are asking you these questions is not really because they really care about where you're coming from. It's to get you to give them information and to determine if you've been drinking. Right. So the more you talk, the more they can figure out. So where are you coming from? I don't know how many times people have done this. Oh, I just came from a birthday party. Oh, did you drink? Oh yeah, I had one glass of wine, which is usually a lie. Right. Because if somebody said one, they probably had at least three, right? And so they're setting themselves up for failure, because now you're lying. And so I don't answer any of those questions. And I don't even say I'm a lawyer. I just say I've been told not to answer questions, and I leave it at that. Because you don't have to answer questions, and anything you say can be used against you. And I've done a lot of DWI cases where they say, oh yeah, he said he just came from a dinner and he had 2 glasses of wine. And everybody knows that means you probably had 4 or 5, or he had 2 shots or something. And so it's best that you not give information, because you don't have to. I mean, that's really the bottom line. Right. So third, and let me just say this when I'm at it, is that when you're being stopped by the police, if they say things like, hey, you're walking down the street, hey, can I talk to you for a minute? What do you think the answer, what do you think you have to do if a cop says, can I talk to you for a minute? I think I have to turn around and comply. No. Anytime an officer asks you a question like, can I talk to you? Can I search your clothes? Can I do this? Then they know that they can't do it without your permission. Okay. Now, if they say stop, right? Then if you're being ordered or told to do something, that's different than a question. Right. And so if somebody says, hey, you stop, then yes, you do have to comply. But if he's asking you, can I talk to you for a minute? I'm good. Good to see you, right? And you just keep going, because you don't have to stop when somebody tells you to stop, unless they specifically tell you, as opposed to ask you, okay? But sometimes, you know, that don't turn out too good for some people, you know, when they, you know, tell them, you know, give them the hand a little bit and tell them, you know, no, thank you, and, you know, keep walking. But do they really do that, or do they get aggressive? Because see, if the thing is, are they really just saying no, thank you, and going, or are the cops or are you being aggressive because you're annoyed that they stopped you? And that's the thing
Well,
we
I
have
mean,
to.
I guess in the way that you tell them no, thank you. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes and you just keep it moving. It's like
Mhm,
they don't like that. You know what I'm saying? They
mhm.
really, yeah, it
But
don't.
you have to do it to not water down your rights. Because if we don't say no when we can, then you're really just watering down your rights. You have the right to remain silent, and you have the right
Mm-hmm.
to not be stopped and have to talk to people just because they feel like it. You have that right. And you have to be used to doing that, because if you don't, what happens is you're literally watering down your rights. So you start off with this
Mm-hmm.
really dark black cup of coffee, and you just keep adding water to it and adding water to it and adding, and then all of a sudden it's really not even a tasty cup of coffee because it's just
Right.
watered down. Same thing. We have to learn how to do that. And this is what I always suggest: you have to practice. I practice, because if you don't practice, you get nervous, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so you have to practice about what are you going to do, what are you going to say, etc., so that you're not so nervous that you forget what you're supposed to do. I
Right.
was speaking at an event once, and a woman had said, "Well, we give out these cards, and they were nice cards. They tell people what to do when the police stop. But really, when you stop, when the police stop your car, are you really going to think to yourself, 'Let me pull out that card and start
Mm-hmm.
reading,' unless you practice?" So I
Right.
always suggest, you and your girlfriend, boyfriend, husband, wife, son, daughter, kids particular. I think that people who are just getting their driver's license should definitely sit in something like this and learn about this. If it's not going to be from
Mm-hmm.
me, from somebody, I'm going to pass the torch. But from somebody that does this, so that you can know what you can and cannot do when you're
Right.
okay. So
Okay. Okay. So if a person has been pulled over by the police, right,
mhm.
and they feel like they have been treated badly,
Mm-hmm.
even if it's just the way that they, talk to them,
Mm-hmm.
what is the next thing that they do? How do they go about filing a complaint?
Okay. So filing a complaint because somebody treated you badly is really not gonna
Mm-hmm.
go. And by treated you badly, you mean he just talked to you badly, or he abused you? What do you mean?
Well, I mean, maybe they grabbed you and maybe left a bruise on your arm, because
Mhm.
sometimes they can grab on you, they can slam you up against something,
Mhm.
they can be very aggressive.
Okay.
Sometimes the police can be very aggressive,
Okay. So
especially when maybe you're not compliant. You know what I'm saying? You're
mhm.
asking a lot of questions. You know what I'm saying? Because
Mhm.
that's what a lot of people do when they get pulled over by the police. They just start asking questions.
Right. And start getting upset. And that's what I'm saying. Unfortunately, we have to be the ones to um calm the situation. It used to be that
Mm-hmm.
police officers were the one that did it, right? But we really can't count on that. So we have to be
Right.
the ones, because ultimately we are the weaker person in the situation, right?
Mm-hmm.
You're the weaker person. So you're not going to win an argument. You're not going to win a fight. It's not going to
Right.
go good. So you have to treat this situation differently than you would. I wish I could say that. Listen, it happens to me in court, right? I've been thrown
Mm-hmm.
in jail a couple of times because I just refused to back down. But the reality is, I can't win that. I couldn't
Right.
win. Then my client couldn't win because now I was in jail waiting for somebody to come get me out.
Yeah.
So, right?
Yeah.
So you're not going to win that argument. And so the best thing to do is to just keep saying no when people are asking you for permission. Can I search your car? No, you cannot
Mm-hmm.
search my car, right? And I'm going to give you a perfectly good example. One of my colleagues at the Public Defender Service in DC got stopped by the police in Maryland way back,
Mm-hmm.
years back. Um, he was on the BW Parkway, so I think it was actually the Capitol Police or the Park Police, and they stopped him. He was on his way back from New York from a funeral with his mom in the car. But he was in a nice car. That must have meant something. Nice car coming from New York way over
Right.
here, right?
Right.
To them, it meant something. So they stopped him. They gave him no reason. And then they said, can I search your car? And he said, no. They said, well, if you don't let us search your car, we're going to have to call for the dogs to sniff to see if you have drugs in the car. And he said, okay. Now I know that for most people, it's easier to just say, okay, I'll just get out the car, right? But you have to learn how to do that, because if he had not done this, then he'd be watering. That's what I'm talking about. You'd be watering down your rights. They said, we're going to have to call for the dogs. And it was raining and cold out. And you know what they did? You got to step out the car and wait. And so he could have just said, okay, fine, right? But he stepped out the car, him and his mom, and they waited in the rain while the police dogs came so that they could do their little thing that they were going to do. All this time, they don't know who he is, right? He's just some black guy who they're, stopping and giving a hard time to. Of course, the dogs came. There was nothing. They let him go. And then he went and filed his complaint, his citizen complaint, and sued them. And he sued them for information that would help us all, right? Because what he did was he made that they had to report for the next 5 years, I think it was, they had to report who they were stopping, meaning sex and race, what happened with the stop, so that we could see the pattern of what was happening. And that changed a lot of what was happening on the parkway way back then. And see, that's what he could have easily just said, all right, my mom's in the car. I don't want to go through this. Let them do what they want to do, right? But that wouldn't have progressed his right, wouldn't have preserved his rights. So that's why that's important to do.
Yeah. Tell the people how important it is to comply and just, have some patience when it comes to those situations, because I don't think people really get it. That, it's like, even if you are treated bad, you want to at least be able to leave away from the spot so that you can be able to file a post.
So you can tell somebody, right? You can tell somebody. So that's why I say leave. You just keep saying, I'm not consenting to this search, right? Let's say they said, we're gonna search your car anyway. They pull you out the car. This is an extreme example.
Not to cut you off. What are some of the reasons why they would just, want to search your car?
I can't answer why other people do stuff. I mean, usually it's this whole, I smell marijuana in the car, I smell alcohol in the car, I smell kind of thing. When they stopped you, you were moving around and they got suspicious about your gestures. They call them furtive gestures, which meant you might have been hiding something. And so those are the things. The thing that happened, I think it was Texas, this little 16-year-old boy that was followed by the police, and they told him to get out of the car, and instead he tried to drive away and they killed both the kids in the car. See, I think that happened because he was 16 and he didn't know what to do, right? I think if you learn and you practice, I really believe that, we tell kids you got to take driver's ed, but a part of the driver's ed has to be how to handle being stopped, because that 16-year-old kid and his friend really should have gone home.
Right.
And it doesn't matter if you do have weed in the car, if you have something in the car you shouldn't have in the car. It's better that you it's going to be worked out, right?
Right.
But he's dead. And so that can't be worked out. And so we really have to remember that it's going to be worked out if you're just calm, assert your rights, and wait, and then tell your lawyer about it. That's what we live for. What? Right. You told him no? Right? Right? I mean, that's what we live for you have to have done that. So I give out these to my clients. I'm going to show. I have a bunch of them left too, but anyway, I give out these to my clients. One says, I do not answer questions. And the other one says, I do not consent to search it.
Wow.
And they just wear them to remind themselves, okay, when I get stopped, I don't have to say yes to this. I don't have to say yes. That's it. You just have to remember, I don't have to say, and you don't have to be nasty about it. We really have to have good, balanced attitude so we can just get through it, you know? And when we get through it, you let your lawyer handle the rest. I mean, that's what defense attorneys live for. There's nothing better than a client telling me, I told him that I do not consent to the search. I showed him my bracelet, right? And then we have something to say to a judge. Look, and he gets on the stand during the hearing and says, yes, I told him no because Ms. Weatherspoon gave me this bracelet. And then that's believable. That's believable to the judge that you told him no. And when that happens, when you're searched without your permission against your rights, then whatever they found in the car is going to be thrown out because it was illegal. It was an illegal search. But you gotta stay calm.
Right. Yeah.
No.
Yeah. I guess, you know, people, just people knowing their rights and knowing what not to do, you know, and what to do, it would have saved so many lives. You know, this seminar that you give, you know, is so important. It really is. How can people take part in this seminar? I know that you are going to be sworn in on the 18th of December. Yes.
So I'm gonna have to pass the torch.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to pass the torch.
Is this something that you're going to offer? You're going to still offer?
Well, what I'm hoping, I talked to the chief judge about it. She said she doesn't oppose it. So, but I need some time, obviously, to get my feet wet as a judge. And you know, right now I do this as a criminal defense attorney. So obviously I have, you know, things that I probably say as a defense attorney that, you know, and then as a judge, I have to consider other things. And so
how about teaching other people to do it?
Right. That's what I'm saying. I'm going to pass the torch. I'm going to lawyers that I trust, that I know are great lawyers, that I know will do a good job of getting people, you know, getting out there and explaining their rights to people. I've been doing these things for a second, going to churches, community centers, wherever I could, just to teach people this. And then I gave away these little bracelets, and you know, and you'd be surprised how many people would have that thing on and would remember to say, I don't consent to searches. I don't, you know, I don't answer questions. Please call my lawyer. That's all the 3 things you got to remember. I don't consent to searches. I don't answer questions. Please call my lawyer. That's it. Because even when the police, even when you are arrested, let's say somebody accused you of something, and you're arrested and taken away to the police, or sometimes they call and say, we just want to talk to you, get your side. Have you ever heard that? Somebody say that? Yeah, right. We just want to get your side so we can close the case, right? We heard it was self-defense. We just want to close the case. You still, you should have a lawyer at that point. If they tell you to come in, you should never go in by yourself. But not only should you not go in by yourself, your lawyer is not going to let you just start talking. You know, I had police call me from Prince George's County. I'm never going to forget this. And they called me and said, listen, we want to talk to your client. I know what you're going to say because I already heard, but I have to ask you. And I said, yeah, we're not coming in there. Why are we coming in there? If you want to if you heard it was self-defense and you want to close the case, then you can close the case. You don't need to talk to us, right? The only thing they're doing by getting us in there is to get you to say something that's really not self-defense, right? And then next thing you know, you're under arrest. So that's why it's important. I know people I want to tell my side, I want to tell, and it's hard. You know, self-defense is the best example, and consensual sex is the best example of that, because you feel like, but I didn't do anything wrong.
Right.
I just want to tell my side. It's not time to tell your side. We gotta wait it out. We gotta wait it out. The time to tell your side, if it comes to that, it's to a jury.
Right.
Not to some cop sitting in there, sitting in a room locked up without your lawyer.
Wow. Yes. This gives, it I guess when people get it, because it's very self-explanatory. You know what I'm saying? I mean, we all see, like I said, how these situations turn. They turn deadly really quick.
Right.
And unfortunately it has been like the past 2 years I've been, just keeping up with all of the, police shootings, and and I thought about this seminar, and I thought about what if they would have known, had the information on what to do, how many lives that would have saved.
Yeah.
Because we do, it's I guess it's just with nature with most people when they get pulled over by the police, because it's like the police, just like we don't know what kind of day the police has had. They don't know what kind of day we have had.
Right.
Sometimes we can be, getting pulled over and trying to rush home to get our kids and things of that nature. And it's like they don't have to understand that. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So I just wish people would take heed to this information, and understand that we as civilians, we are not above the law.
Right. Right.
That's the most important thing, is understanding that we are not above the law. We
and
do
if
have
you can be
rights.
right. You can be right about everything that you're saying, right? He ain't got no business stopping me. I didn't do, you might be right. But in that moment, you're just not going to win.
Yeah.
And so there's no point in escalating it, because the only person who's going to get hurt if it's escalated 9 times out of 10,
right,
is the civilian, not the cop. And so we just have to be vigilant about that as people, that, we have to be able to stay calm, and we have to think, my goal is to get home. And we've seen the video. A lot of times people decide, oh, I'm gonna take this and then I can say what I want. I'm gonna be on Facebook Live and show people. You don't want to be on Facebook Live showing people bad behavior. Right? And because it's not gonna get you anywhere.
Exactly.
It's not gonna get you anywhere.
And it's just going to make other people feel like they can do that and make the same mistake.
Right.
And make the same mistake, because like I said, it's like almost like tiptoeing through the tulips when you're dealing with these police. Yeah. And you have to know, that they have the rights to bear arms. They have the right to pull you over. You know what I'm saying? Whether you feel like they are right or not. But we do have rights as civilians.
Right. We
it's
have
just
rights.
knowing.
You can assert your rights calmly and then wait. Because listen, and for us women too, you get stopped in a dark place and you don't feel safe. What do? So that's happened to me. I called 911 and I said, there are some blue lights behind me. I can't even see the car. So I didn't even know if it was a police car. Right? Flashing lights. I just turned on my flashers. I drove a lot slower.
Right.
A lot slower. And I called 911 and I said, there is a police car behind me. I'm in this car. I'm in this blue Kia and my tag number, told her the whole thing. And I'm just looking for a place where I feel safe. So I'm driving slow. And that was the best thing that could have happened. It turned out that it was a cop. But one, we don't know because we can't see. And two, you still could be hurt. So, and I just drove. It turned out that there was actually a police station not that far away. So I ended up in front of a police station. I felt safe there, right? And so I just pulled over in front of the police station. It was lit up and they came up and and said, you know, I was speeding, and I said, oh, was I? You know, and because I did all that, they let me go.
Yeah.
They didn't even give me a ticket.
What is the most important thing that people need to know when they get pulled over by the police? One very important thing.
I think it's the three. It's not just one. It's the three things. The things to do to be sure you can be seen by them. Don't make any fast motions, and announce whatever you're doing. So if they tell you they want your license and registration, and you leave it in your purse, then you say, okay, my purse is in the back seat. I'm getting ready to get my purse, and I'm going to get my license and registration. That way everybody knows what's about to happen, and nobody has to panic. Or they can say, oh, wait a minute, I don't want you to grab for your purse because I can't see what you're pulling. You know, whatever they say next, then because my purse literally is behind the passenger seat on the floor, they might not want me to reach back there on the floor, right? Because I can have a gun back there on the floor.
Right.
So I wait to hear if they're okay with that. Which is why I stopped doing that, and I just put my license in the car. But I would wait to hear if they're okay with that. Is that okay with you? Okay. Because the thing what happened with Castro, he did everything right. Philando Castro, he really did what he was told to do. You know, he said, I have a gun. Officer said, do you have a license to carry? Yes, I do. Let me see it. And then he went and started to get it. And so now the cop was like, is he going to get the gun or is he going to get the
gun?
Right. And so, and totally not his fault, totally not blaming him. I'm just saying that we have to do a little bit more just to survive.
Just to survive,
yeah. We have to do a little extra than we used, because remember, there was a time when you couldn't put all your windows down. You might not know that, but we had to roll them down.
Right? Exactly.
And so we wouldn't have been able to do that before. We also didn't have tinted windows, so it wasn't as, it wasn't as hard before. But now we got these tinted windows. Now we have the ability to make ourselves seen. My husband does it. My husband's a cop. If he gets we got pulled over, he put down all the windows and waited.
Wow. That's something. I mean, I didn't know about the pull down the window thing. So that's something good to know. Like I said, especially with these times and just trying to deal with the police and and have them deal with us. It's like, I guess that's another show, a whole nother show.
yeah, totally different show.
Yeah.
So let me just end with this though. When you are, you get a rights card when you're pulled into a police station when they want you to make a statement, and it says, have your rights been read to you? And you're supposed to answer these 4 questions. Have your rights been read to you? Do you understand your rights? Will you talk to us? And will you talk to us without an attorney? So how do you think you answer that? Let's assume I'm a cop and I've read you your rights. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can be used against you in court of law. And then I show you this card and I say, okay, I need you to sign this card. Have your rights been read to you? What's the answer?
Yes.
Okay. Do you understand your rights?
Yes.
Why do you think you understand your rights?
I never went that far. Like I said, I just comply, so that I can just get away from there.
Okay.
And make it home.
We'll come back to that one.
I ain't gonna start none. It won't be none.
Okay, we'll come back to that one. Will you answer any questions?
Yes.
No, Black Rose. I just told you no. Yeah. Okay. Will you answer any questions without your lawyer?
No.
Okay. So The answer to the questions is really yes, no, no, no.
Okay,
yes, I've been read
yes.
my rights. No, I don't understand. No, I won't answer questions. No, I won't answer questions without my lawyer. It's yes, no,
Okay.
no, no.
Yes, no, no, no.
Right.
I say yes to them all.
No, ma'am.
And I guess especially when you ain't did nothing.
Right. That's
You
what I'm
know what I'm
telling you.
saying?
That's what I
I
tell you.
guess
You
it
feel
was
like, let me just
me.
tell them, right? Let me just tell you.
Yeah.
Do
Let
you
me
really?
just tell them because I know I ain't did anything once they finish doing whatever they, most want to do. Most of the time when I'm getting pulled over, it's some flirty police officer. You know what I'm saying? So it don't even go that far,
Right.
all of the time. But like I said, we talk about that all the time.
Yeah.
We don't never have those problems. Like not none of the women that I've known,
Right.
that have been pulled over by the police. So it's like yes, 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 yes. And they're going to
Yeah.
either give you the citation, the warning, or they're going to tell you, smile a little bit and tell you can go ahead and go.
Okay. All right. But I'm talking about we were talking about if you got pulled into a police station, you just got arrested because Gladys said she was at your studio and you punched her in the nose. So now you're under arrest. Okay. You are now in the police station because Gladys said, because that's all it takes. I can just go call the police and say, Black Rose punched me in the nose in her studio. Man,
Right.
go, that's not what happened. She didn't even come. There was construction. We had to leave. Right? So now, let's say you just go, no, we had construction. We couldn't even record. But just you saying that, let's think about what you just did. You kind of agreed that we were together, but we weren't.
Yeah.
That's all you said.
Yeah.
So now you've already put yourself with me. That's half the battle right there. You put yourself there. And then it wasn't a punch. I just kind of, tapped her. Dang, you already see what happened?
I didn't already put myself there.
You have confessed to assaulting me. And so that's what I'm talking about. That's why the answer is yes, no, no, no.
Yes, no, no, no. I'm gonna have to get me a couple of those armbands.
Yes, I have plenty of them. So I will get them to you. Maybe you can give them away because I really don't have any.
Yes.
So I will do that.
And also some literature.
Okay.
That maybe we can get out, in the streets.
Yeah.
You wrote like a little brochure.
I did. It's probably still on my page. And it talks about what to put on that card that we just talked about. So maybe you just print that out. You can just print that out and hand that out and give out these
hand that out. Yeah. I think because like I said, I think that the more people are educated on this issue, the more lives you can save.
Yeah, absolutely. So if people want to go to my website, my law firm website, it's weatherspoonfirm.com. And you can find, it's a blog basically. You can find the discussion about what to do with those rights cards.
Okay.
So it'll still be there until, probably until January, and then it'll be gone too.
Yeah. I'm excited. Like I said, I'm not going, I didn't already put you in the seat and everything. I'm so excited for you. And
thank you.
Like I said, people are really looking forward to the work that we know that you're going to do, that you're going to put into the court system. Your swearing in is December the 18th.
December the 18th. Yeah.
Would that be something that's going to be for the public or?
It's going to, because of COVID. By the way, somebody just texted me and said, I put a question in. I don't see it. Joseph, where did you put the question? He just texted me and said, I'm on the live and I made a question. I don't see it. Question. Do you see the question?
No.
Okay, let me see. And then I'll answer that. Sorry. I don't understand this new thing.
I'm looking right now. I don't see it neither.
Yeah, I don't see it. Joseph, we don't see the question. Go on Black China and do it there. If you hear me. I said Black China. Black Rose. Oh, here, comments. All right. Thank you, guys, for the information. Okay. Yeah, I don't see the question. Joseph, Tolbert, I don't see the question. Okay, so we'll wait and see if we get his question. But anyway, so the swearing in is on the 18th at 4 o'clock. Because of COVID, it's not going to be, you know, what people expect. They usually have some big shindig. Only 4 people can go in. So we're going to have it on Zoom, so you can watch it on Zoom. And then that's it. Unfortunately, but it doesn't matter. I'm still going to be a judge. Whether I have a big shindig or not, I'm still going to be a judge. You know, I always tell people this was kind of weird because we won and went to sleep, and that was it. Like, there was no watch party. Apparently, when people run for stuff, they're all in the same room and they watch for the results. That didn't happen. We finished working those polls and went home and went to bed. You know, it was just kind of what it was. And so we didn't get to have any party. We had planned one. Tasha and I had planned one, and then COVID hit big again, so we had to cancel it. I know y'all saw those little gavel. I put a gavel on my page showing when the swearing in is. That's a little keychain that I have for everybody to help, and I couldn't give it away because we just COVID. So we're COVID conscious. We want to be safe. So we'll have to figure out something to do, but we will start with definitely be at the swearing in, because 282,000 people voted for me. And so, you know, obviously 282,000 people have faith in me, and I want to do something.
Yes, we do.
So I want to have you all at least be a part of it.
Like I said, this election means a lot of things, you know, and it was a rocky road, you know, but
it was.
I think that I know for certain that we, you know, we made the right decision. You know, I didn't get everybody I wanted, but
well, you can't get it, but you tried, and that's what's important. But you voted, you know.
Yeah, and like I said, I was very just surprised at how everybody was just, you know, they just wanted to know more, you know, and how misinformed people are about when it comes to the court system, the importance of the circuit court judge, what she does.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I think, like I said before, I think that if we would have been more informed and educated on that, we would have been making the right decisions a long time ago.
Yeah.
And but it's okay. We're here now.
We're here now.
Yeah, we done made it. Thank
I
you
didn't
so
find
much.
Joseph's question. Did you find it? We tried, Joseph. We can't.
I'm looking now. I don't see the question.
Yeah, I don't either. But we tried. But if I see it later, I will go ahead and answer it. I have 12 more days as a defense attorney. So I will do what I can in those next days.
George A. Dawkins, he said, "Thank you, Gladys, for the information. Passed it on to my family and friends."
Oh, hi, George. George went to high school with me. Hi. Wow. Yeah, I'm glad you passed it on. Let's just keep this going. get this information going. I'm going to pass the torch to a lawyer that I trust to do this, to keep doing this, to keep having people. Oh.
The smell of marijuana in a vehicle does that give the police probable cause to search the vehicle?
Yes, it does. It sure does. It's an old case now. I remember when that case came out. Say again?
Gladys said yes. Yes, it does. So she asked you a question. Go back on the live thing because she was trying to talk to you.
Okay.
All
right. Yeah, that's an old case. I heard that something came out recently in Maryland that changed that. But I personally haven't seen it. So and I think it's because the rules have changed about marijuana. But for now, if they stop your car and they say, I smell marijuana and I want to search, again, you don't have to say yes, you can comply. You can say, I don't consent to this search. But if they're going to search, they're going to search. Right. We're not going to stop them, right? You're not going to stop them just because you're saying, I don't consent. The purpose is to say it so that it's on record that you're saying no. And then your lawyer can fight that one.
Wow.
So,
this has been something. It hasn't been a waste. I thank you so much for being patient with me. Like I said, I know that we were supposed to do this in studio today, and hopefully I can get you in the studio. I know it's going to be kind of hard after December the 18th, but maybe we can get some of the colleagues in that's going to be carrying the torch.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know, out to continue this discussion and to continue to educate people on knowing your rights, the importance of knowing your rights.
Yeah, that would be great.
Yeah.
That would be great.
Yes, indeed. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Black Rose. I appreciate you. I'm so glad we got to meet. Really. I'm glad that we got to meet.
Me too. And I'm just so glad that, like I said, I went on your page, on your web page, and I, did my research. I know that I made the right decision. I know everybody's house that I went in and got them to take. I know they made the right.
We had an undercover out there, didn't know it. You were out there doing the thing. We didn't even know it.
Yeah, because I had, like I said, this COVID has been a monster. Especially when it came to the elections.
Yeah.
And I lived in a neighborhood where there's a lot of elderly. A lot of them couldn't get out to go mail their, mail-in ballot or take it, to the board of elections. A lot of them couldn't do it. So I had a couple of neighbors call me. And so I went to their house and helped them out with their ballots, and also took it down to the, the election office to make sure that they, got turned in as well. And I just went on. I had more people. They let their friends know. And so I was going around to everybody's house in the neighborhood in the midst of COVID, making sure that they get them votes out, because that's how important it was.
Yeah.
You know, it was worth it. You are worth it. And I just want you to know that, we are going to embrace you.
Thank you so much.
We're going to
really
embrace you. We really are. And all you have to do is open your mouth.
I love that saying. All you have to do is open your mouth. Okay.
Well, people,
my saying is, all you have to do is shut your mouth when it comes to the police. Totally the opposite. Just shut your mouth and wait.
Just shut our mouth and wait and understand. So y'all on the Facebook Live, I got a nice little crowd coming in on the watch party. I'm going to post this in case you are, for all of you all who are just tuning in, I'm going to repost this so that y'all can get this information, because it is very important to have this information, you know. It's very important. And I'm glad that I got a chance to get you before the 18th.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, because I know you've been busy.
So yeah.
I
But I love doing this. I love having people understand their rights. I love helping people. And so I'm happy to do it.
Yeah.
If I could have done one every day until the 18th, I would have done that. But now I'm stuck to only the ones that were already scheduled. So yeah.
So I mean, well, it's a great transition. You know, it's a great transition, and like I said, I just look forward to, you know, all of the work. You know, just seeing all of the work that you're going to be putting into Prince George's County Court.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I really appreciate you, Rose. All right. So what's the date? The 18th at 4 o'clock in the afternoon. I will put a link on my page. I'm sure Tasha will put a link on the page. We'll put it on the Friends of Gladys Weatherspoon page. And that's it. And then you can join us.
Okay.
All right.
All right.
Thank you so much. All right. Good night.
All right. Good night. Bye-bye.